He just wiped off.
That's what I was talking about with Bill Walsh before the game. That he said the most important thing is keeping your hands and arms dry. But I think this guy with ribs and running like this is either the toughest, most courageous guy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you do that. I mean, I know his ribs are hurt, and I know that he has a pad on those ribs. But he just opened his ribs up and took a shot right there to him.
7 carries, 57 yards for Young, and a touchdown. And again, he's the leading rusher for the 49ers.
Oh my! I think when you're looking about, talking about players in this league and looking at players and role models and guys that you want to respect. I mean, sometimes they don't always get it. But I think if you look at a guy that you want to respect, I think this Steve Young is a pretty good guy to look to.
There is nothing wrong with that. Nothing. In addition to all the toughness and all the talent he's displayed, he's just a heck of a guy.
Yeah, and he's a competitor. I mean, he's a man who's a competitor, and he knows how to play.
Pass is complete to Brett Jones, and Jones, it so often happens to him. When the collision happens, you see his feet first.
I mean, he's a guy that played professional football. Everything didn't go his way, and he stayed with it.
Yep.
And he was a backup. He was with some bad teams, and just stayed with it. And then good things happened to him.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. First down. Kirby to the 45. Less than 9 now minutes on the scoreboard clock. 14-0 San Francisco.
One of the things that the 49ers did when they were getting ready to play the Eagles is they looked at their Green Bay Packer game because they figured that the 49ers would, that the Eagles would play them a lot like the Packers did, and they were saying that they can't believe that they lost to the Packers the last time.
When we were over at practice on Friday, they were a very confident bunch. They said nobody wants to play us.
Yeah, because if there's any team that was in the wild card, that played this weekend, I think there was any team that was peaking, it was this team, the 49ers.
Well, it's like we were talking about, there's a flag on the play, like we were talking about in the opening.
Prior to the snap,
there was a time a couple of years ago when they made things happen twice as fast as anybody else, and they're getting back close to that pace again. They were.
Well, that was a Bill Walsh thing. It was always the old boxing thing. How they always tell the fighter to get off first. Get the punch before you get punched. That was a way that he taught this offense. Get off first. Punch before you get punched. There's Bill Walsh right there, kind of an administrative assistant, and getting, having more and more to say as this season goes on, but that was always his thing. Beat him to the punch. The 49ers didn't do that earlier in the season, but they look like they have that back now.
Here's Young to throw it. Now he may take off with it. No, he throws it. Found somebody open finally. That's Terry Kirby. Didn't get enough for the first down, but he got something from nothing. And
that's the problem with rushing Steve Young. It's like you got him. No, you don't. No, he's going to run. No, he's going to throw. And that's what you have to defend. As a defender, when he does that, I heard Howie Long talking about the bind that puts you in. He starts up like this now. Do you come up to tackle him, or do you stay back? If you stay back, he's going to run. If you come up, then he's going to just buy time and throw the ball like he did right there.
And the worst thing you can do is do nothing. What so often happens.
That's what the 49er defense did against Barry Sanders on Monday night.
Wide open is William Floyd. Floyd gets to the Philadelphia 33-yard line, and they'll move those sticks again.
One thing, this offensive line, this group right here knows that Steve Young is hurt, and they know that they have to give him the protection. Watch, they're coming in a blitz, but watch it, the protection. I mean, the backs are blocking. Everyone's blocking. They picked up everything.
Steve Wallace blocked 2.
I know Steve Wallace got 2, and bar none, William Floyd got a big one coming up the middle. That's not bad. If you're an old left tackle and you got 2 helmets on and you can block 2, you do a lot of things in 2.
You could play several more years. What'd he like to do? Floyd picking his way straight ahead. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Technical producer is Bob Muller. The associate director is Rich Russo. Broadcast associates Mike Roig and Fran Morrison. Studio is produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill.
Yeah, there's a guy who had a tough job right there, Jesse Sapolo, the center. You talk about keeping your hands and arms dry and have to touch the football every time before your quarterback gets it. Jesse's been doing a good job today.
Young gets it to Rice on the old bootleg.
Well, they've been doing that. I mean, that's a big part of their offense now, is moving Jerry Rice around. I mean, he's a flanker, he's a slot, he's in the backfield, he's in motion. Here he comes in motion here. You see him come across, and then the bootleg, you see him fake there. Here comes Steve Young. And then what Jerry Rice does is Jerry Rice runs the pattern of the tight end on that play. We saw that bootleg strong earlier. Brent Jones caught it. That time, Jerry Rice was in Brent Jones's position running the bootleg.
3rd and 2. Floyd will get the 2. And they'll take some more time off that clock. Yeah, well, look ahead. We got 2 great matchups, assuming, of course, the 49ers hang on to win, or continue as they are to win, I should say, I guess. We got some great matchups next weekend. These 49ers at Green Bay and Dallas at Carolina.
Yeah, and you still have, you know, to me, the champion is always a champion until someone beats them. And I've said that about the Dallas Cowboys all year, that, you know, who's the best team? The best team is the champion from last year until someone dethrones them.
They have that ability to turn it on when the occasion arises. Talking earlier about the NFC playoff picture, the AFC is not unattractive. Jacksonville, who shocked everybody, including Buffalo, maybe everybody but Jacksonville, goes to Denver, and Pittsburgh and New England in the other one.
I don't know that Denver's a team you want to be playing now either, especially in Mile High Stadium.
Tough place. But so is Rich Stadium. Harry Kirby stopped by Dawkins. You were talking about the Dallas Cowboys and how they are the defending champions. They play in a game we're doing next week at Carolina, and either Philadelphia or San Francisco goes to Green Bay. And you think this guy had something in mind when he got up today?
Yeah, he had to think about that. I mean, at some point he had to think, okay, I'm going to go to the 49er game, and I'm going to think of next week, because we're going to win. We're going to play Green Bay, so I'm going to shred up a cheesehead.
I never could do that without scraping all the skin off my knuckles.
I never had the patience to. If I was going to eat the cheese, I would just eat it like it was, or you take a knife and take a big old hunk out of it.
Well, that just goes to show who's the smartest. I left some meat in the shredder, and you enjoyed the cheese.
Look at these uniforms. I mean, you don't see that anymore. Where it used to be where players would always get muddy and dirty, and now, and I think they put something in the soil where you didn't get it. Now we're back where we got the mud and the dirt, and we even got some paint mixed in on those uniforms now.
3rd down. Young just started on the rollout. Now he comes over to get the ball. A flag on the play. Intentional grounding, I'm sure.
Yeah, but there was no whistle. I mean, that's why Steve Young came over and jumped on that ball, because whatever happened, they didn't blow a whistle.
Intentional grounding.
That's automatic loss of down anyway, but Steve Young did the right thing, because everyone, you're always taught to play the whistle. The whistle did not blow. I mean, he intentionally grounded, and they threw a flag, but they didn't blow a whistle.
Intentional grounding on the offense, number 8. Loss of down, 4th down.
But you're going to see it's that bootleg again where he's bootlegging to the left, and he just got hit just as he got off that bootleg. He just got hit right then, and he tried to throw the ball away, and that was intentional grounding. But Steve Young thought that maybe they could have ruled that a fumble.
Thought so. So as you said, he did what he usually does, the right thing.
You see what Mike Mamula tried to do to him, when he was down?
No.
He tried to hit him right there, and he missed him. And he just hit his own shoulder right into the turf because Steve Young rolled, and Mamula went into the turf.
3.5 minutes left. Thompson back to punt. Marseille deep for the Eagles. Thompson.
The pooch.
And it's going to pooch into the end zone. It was headed for the corner, but went too far. 31-yard punt. They'll bring it back to the 20. 14-0. San Francisco leading Philadelphia.
Now that is a football look.
Yep.
Steve Wallace, he's been in there battling all day, protecting Steve Young, protecting Steve Young's left side that he can see or bootleg to. Jerry Rice is still happy with that big catch that he had, followed by a touchdown.
And always neat, regardless. To Kevin Turner from Ripon. Ball squirted out of bounds, but no harm done. Ken Norton Jr. draped around his legs.
Ken Norton Jr. has been draped around a lot of guys' legs today. I think he's having one of his best years this year, but he's been all over the field today. I mean, he's been on passing plays, he's been making tackles, he's been blitzing, and on pass rushes, he's been penetrating and making tackles on run stops in the backfield. He's played very well today.
Rain started to blow in again, and Ricky Waters slipped down. Less than 3. We'll get a final look at the playoff picture later today, as coming up is the NASDAQ stock market postgame report with J.B. Terry, Howie, Ronnie. Preview of all the upcoming games. It's the last one this weekend. Ripon lofts it outside, incomplete. 2:39 left to play. There's a football picture too. Jesse Sapolo.
He's done a heck of a job, because you always think in wet weather the biggest thing you have to do is keep the football dry, and the keeping the football dry goes to the center. He should never. He always had a rule: never ever snap a ball that's wet.
And Jesse, what a warrior he's been. If they need a guard, he plays guard. If it's time to go back to center, he goes back and plays center. No matter where he is, he plays well.
And if things go bad and the 49ers lose, the guy they always interview is Jesse Sapolo.
Right. Irving Fryer, the intended receiver. It's Ken Norton Jr. again that breaks it up.
Like I said, Ken Norton Jr. has been all over this field today. He's kind of letting you know it, but we do know that. I mean, we've seen that. You don't have to hit yourself on the chest. We already saw that you did it.
Ken Norton Sr. has to be very proud.
That's John Marshall, his coach there, is very proud. Everyone's giving him hugs. Isn't winning great? I mean, you win and everyone loves everyone and hugs and smiles and.
Hey, we win every week when we get a chance to work.
Yeah, and then on the other side, you see the frustration of it. Jerry Rice is not neat. Yeah, I was going to say, you said he's always neat, then I was looking at, and on a muddy day, you can't be neat. You can't stay neat.
He's neat compared to the rest of them.
Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't want dirty pants and dirty shirt and his shirt tail hanging out and all that. That's the first time I've ever seen Jerry Rice's shirt tail hanging out.
Even at practice. That's William Floyd, who's stymied by the Philadelphia defense. Timeout, Philadelphia. They'll have one left now. 49ers leading 14-0. 9.
Chris Dahlman, the offensive guard for the 49ers, just limped off, Pat, and Derek Deese is now playing right guard.
This is Derek Lavelle. Again, stick around after this is over for the postgame report. The NASDAQ stock market post